Welcome back. Do remember all our top stories can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Visit m.channelstv.com to see us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. We'd also like to encourage you to use the Eyewitness feature in the Channels TV app if you have pictures or videos you'd like to share with us. Tap the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions. And on local government development matters, the Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission has chosen the 10th, that is the 8th of October 2016, for the conduct of the elections of the administrators into the 37 newly created local council development authorities across the 20 local government areas of the state. This announcement was made by the chairman of the commission, Mrs. Risikat Ogunfemi, at a media briefing held at the commission's office in Abeokuta, the state capital.
I wish to appeal to all the political parties and politicians that is a matter of law and moral for them to play the game according to the universal rule of democracy. One man, one vote. Violence should be expunged from our arsenal as one of the tools of attaining political power and relevance. As expected, a distinguished gentleman of the press should use the power of media to educate our public, to stem this negative culture, which have become a recurring issue in our country electioneering history.
To the south-south in Cross River State, the governor, Ben Ayade, says his administration will stop at nothing to give the educational sector a boost that will give birth to a new study system perfect for learning in schools as practiced in developed countries. He says his administration has concluded the paperwork with the Canadian government in Ottawa to enable the takeoff of a Canadian international school with facilities for primary, secondary, and tertiary education in Calabar. He notes that a builder's school will also be built to encourage local talents gain international recognition.
I was in Canada to introduce the Canadian study system, the Canadian international school system into Nigeria. Why am I doing this? I do know that under UBEC, there are a lot of funds going to the states, and most time these monies are just used in rehabilitating school blocks and awarding contracts. But the actual value, in terms of value addition to education, in terms of learning, it's very little. And I told myself, I can't pass all of this funds, just mere fellowshipping and supporting of politicians and awarding of contracts for school building. But that's not real value to education. The real value to education, when you introduce learning skills, when you introduce teachers training, when you introduce vocational training that allows people to have real knowledge or have skills.
Governor of Cross River State, Professor Ben Ayade, still talking about schools, but this time in the southwest. Repositioning education in Oyo State seems to have taken off on a sound footing. 30 public primary schools across the state have gotten a facelift with the help from the Japan International Cooperation Agency. The project, worth 2 billion naira, was formally presented to the state governments in the Molete area of Ibadan, the state capital.
Rusty roofs, peeled walls, and incomplete windows. That was a picture of the St. Luke's Demonstration School in Molete, Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Now, the walls have been painted, roofs replaced, and windows fitted, and representatives of the Japan International Cooperation Agency, the Oyo State government, parents, and teachers are here to witness the handing over ceremony. While appreciating the gift of the Japanese company, Governor Ajimobi notes that education is the most important aspect of development.
The leading countries of the world today are knowledge-driven. Japan saw it fit to help us in the most strategically important area.
He adds that these constructions are an answer to the cry of the Oyo State people.
We saw the results of our WAEC examinations, and we listened to our students speaking. We listened to many of the teachers talking. We decided we must reposition education.
The Japanese ambassador who led the foreign team reveals that Japan's interest in Nigeria goes beyond education development.
Diversification of the economy to help develop non-oil and gas sectors and create more jobs, helping development of infrastructure, agriculture and manufacturing falls in this category. The other priority is social development.
A quick inspection of the interior shows that the classrooms have been equipped with blackboards, desks and chairs. So far, 30 schools across 19 local government areas in the state have 231 newly built or renovated classrooms, as well as 218 toilet blocks.
To the northwest, Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje has urged investors and neighboring business communities across the country to return to Kano State for commerce, as the state is now more peaceful than ever. During an interview with Channels Television in the capital, Governor Ganduje says in view of the total destruction of the Boko Haram insurgency, his government has already introduced new business and tourism opportunities in Nigeria's center of commerce. He says that they spent time visiting the sick and physically challenged at the State VVF Center, where he assured victims of the disease that the government will continue to look after them and provide free medical care.
We designed a public enlightenment program, especially through preaching, and we believe the people are getting the message. And also the Hizbah is also doing a lot of work. But for those who are already infected, we provide free surgery. And when they recover, we teach them some skills and give them some empowerment. So first of all, we say prevention is better than cure. So we urge them to avoid early marriage. And then, if unfortunately the children are being infected, then what we require is societal integration. We require them to accept them as normal human beings, take care of them, while the government is doing a lot in order to see that they recover their health.
The Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje in the northeast, out of the 10,171 internally displaced persons in the Dalori 2 internally displaced camp in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, now about 5,864 of that number are children, with 2,413 under the age of 5. 152 of these children are unaccompanied because their parents have been killed by insurgents, and 239 children separated from their parents who've not been located. According to the NEMA camp manager, Hajia Bawa Babagana, some of the major problems facing this camp is lack of education and health facilities for the displaced persons.
We used to cook for them separately in the kitchen. We used to cook for them 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch and dinner. They used to have their breakfast in the kitchen, lunch and dinner all in the kitchen. Their school is very close to the kitchen. We do allocate them to foster parents. With the help of Save the Children and other NGOs, we are finding foster parents and we do allocate them to them.
And that's a very dire situation concerning children who are unaccompanied and displaced. We're watching news across Nigeria. Coming up, a town hall meeting in Rivers State that has its focus on security. Don't go away.